slowly turned my head back to the front, and I recognized right then, this is one of the top 5 most disgusting experiences I have ever had on a bus during the day. But here's the thing. Here's the thing about a full bladder. When you have a full bladder, you can't really focus or worry about anything else. And I am absolutely convinced that I could win the Nobel Peace Prize while skydiving 10 seconds after finding out that I have 24 hours to live, and none of that would matter to me if I had to pee at the time. And so I just turned back around. I was like, okay, mental note, later be really grossed out about this, but right now you gotta focus on the pee thing. About a half an hour later, we still hadn't stopped, and that's when we got into a traffic jam. It was like the most perfect thing. Cars all over the road, a few lanes, huge traffic jam, and the bus has stopped, and it's clear that we're not going to move for a little while. So I ran to the front of the bus, and I just started pulling on the doors. And those are like the automatic doors, and you're not supposed to be able to open them yourself, but I was pretty desperate, and I figured out a way. And the bus driver's like, what? I opened the door, and I jumped off the bus, and I peed directly onto the tire, and like the bus like landed on the side, because everybody on the bus like went over to one side and was like sticking their heads out the window looking at me. I'm sure if you Google it, you can find a video. And let me just say, I never saw a dime for that show. And so I finished peeing, and I got back on the bus, and I was like so grateful, and I thanked every god that I prayed to, including David Hasselhoff, and I sat back down on the bus and back down on one of the seats, and that's when Megan started projectile vomiting all over the bus. And she was in the middle of the bus, where most of us were, and all of the people were like back, and we're like, yeah, try and sit on our laps now. But it was the most disgusting game of dodgeball I've ever played. And everything sort of calmed down, and finally we were getting close to civilization, where we planned to go to the nearest pharmacy and ask for whatever concoction of drugs that would erase memories that we could buy forever. I don't even care. I'll even forget the good memories as long as I can forget Tilipita. So we were about to pull into the city, and Megan was resting her head on my Uncle Will's shoulder, and we were all just kind of sitting there contemplating this horror that we had experienced for the last 48 or so hours. And Will looked out the window, and he saw a sign, and he said, oh, that sign says that Mexico is 100 miles or something that way. He's commented, translated it for us. And Megan lifted her head up, and she said, are we close to Mexico right now? And he said, yeah, we're close to Mexico. And she said, oh, well, that explains all the Spanish. On second thought, maybe we should have gotten those rabies checked out. Thank you.